Hi, I'm Ashley Swartz, CEO and founder of Furious Minds. This is my weekly segment on Beat TV. Lots of talk already about this year's upfronts, mostly because some of the cable networks have started early. And the big question is whether or not we're going to see an increase year over year in commitments of dollars, and we're going to be able to retain the value given that the actual numbers and audiences have decreased season over season. Now, there's a lot of nervousness, and everybody in the industry is pulling out all stops to ensure that they retain the value, and they hedge the different means in which audience behaviors are changing so radically, right? So, if we look at what's going on, one interesting thing is the IAB Commission a study with Nielsen. Nielsen, the guys that sort of define the value of television through their ratings points system and their 23,000 household measurement platform, commissioned a study where they looked at same creatives, so normalized between digital and television. The study resulted in a recommendation that actually of your current pot of television, if you shifted 15% of that's the optimal number, to digital using the same creative, you would increase your reach by anywhere from 3.5% to 6.2%, depending on what industry you are, whether CPG or non-CPG, and you drive your effective CPM down from $11.17 to just over $10. That's an incredible improvement in ROI by virtue of moving your dollars from television to digital, right? So another sort of concurrent conversation is around the C7, right, and specifically time-shifted viewing. So we talk about the fact that people are watching TV online instead of on their set-top box or on television. They're also watching it time-shifted. That's another area where behaviors are changing. There was a March 5th Ad Age interview with CBS's CEO Leslie Moves, where he doesn't think that in this year's upfronts yet that the C7 is going to be part of the conversation and the inventory, but it will absolutely next year. The industry is, again, pulling out all stops, and social is part of this as well. So one thing that Nielsen has done is they've increased their 23,000 household definition to include gaming consoles and over-the-top IP-enabled hardware for the 2013-2014 season. So we'll start to see that additional channels will be counted, but again, it's still the Nielsen standard of 23,000 households, despite the fact that it's on these are IP platforms. With the social behavior around television and what's happening, and the fact that 40% of tweets during primetime television are about television, and 60% of Twitter users are actually, tweeting about television, Nielsen is also hedging there, right? The advocate of TV and trying to retain that value. They partnered with Twitter at the end of last year to create a social television rating system, which actually upset a lot of folks that are sort of legacy TV guys. Twitter then went ahead and announced that it purchased Bluefin in January of this year. And Bluefin, interesting enough, are the guys that have the horsepower, the experience to churn the immense amount of data that Twitter offers and that deal with that fire hose to actually extract meaningful data from it and create what is a measurement platform. What is Nielsen's role in that? Is Nielsen anything more than a rubber stamp now if we have a social TV rating? So now we sort of look at the big picture of things, and what we've got is we've got our GRPs with this standard 23 household rating system, which has now been extended to include IP channels, which ideally now addresses the issue of time shifting also. We have our OCR ratings, which addresses the issue of watching on other mediums like tablets and smartphones, ideally in creating an equivalency. We have a social television metric, which ideally creates value so that when people are interacting in and around TV, we somehow enable the programmers and broadcasters to capitalize on that behavior and that activity and improve the value of their television inventory. There's all stops are being pulled out by the industry to ensure that they can leave no stone unturned as to how they derive the retention of value in that $70 billion pot that is traditional TV 30-second inventory. AMC is interesting, right? So The Walking Dead, cable network, The Walking Dead, their handle on Twitter, the official handle, has over 1.2 million followers. They've tweeted over 2,000 times during their show. They have an incredible audience that is actually tuning into the primetime broadcast by virtue of the fact that the social behavior around TV is so important. And that's really important to notice because, it's not a function of the fact that it's distracting, but it's actually enhancing the experience by depending on who the audience is and whether they're actually active Twitter users. I think the biggest takeaway from this for me is, this is about carpe diem and owning your own destiny, right? A Cartesian approach that I would suggest that programmers and broadcasters need to take. At the end of the day, you need to be where your audiences are. You can't hedge or fight changing behaviors. Tweet, engage. use hashtags, right? Create a handle and actually respond and include your audience in the conversation and use them as part of the dialogue to proliferate it and drive it. And you enable your advertisers to use pixels to track their inventory and the channels that you're distributing and sending your content. Why can you not do the same to actually track the audiences around your syndicated channels in lieu of relying on Nielsen and legacy TV methods to do so? This is an opportunity to own your own destiny, and the music industry chose not to embrace technology but fight it, and the music industry is dead right now, and I think the television is facing the same reality. I've said this before and I believe it. I think it's time to turn a corner. I welcome your thoughts. Ashley at furious-minds.com. Thanks.